Perfect.
Oh, baby,
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Boys Gone Wild. We're on episode 8. We're
Perfect.
midway through the week. This is the juicy part of the week. This is when these are those cup ties in the midweek. This is like the Carabao Cup. This is just every day. It's exhausting, but you need to fucking be strong for the weekend, you know, because you got United at home coming up. That's a big game. That's a 6-pointer. Okay, so this is a cup tie, and I'm gonna smash out the park. I'm gonna really show the weekend fixture what I'm bringing to the table. So this one's gonna be a bit looser because I'm feeling a little bit looser today. Hence why I'm wearing a cap backwards, and I did 2 minutes of dabbing before starting the pod. I'm a big fan of dabbing, and I've been dabbing quite a lot. I like dabbing because it's an interesting thing where it's the most successful cultural appropriation I think I've seen, where it started as something coming from African American culture. It was seen mainly in rap videos or trap. And it was incredibly successfully culturally appropriated by white culture to the point where it's ours now. It's interesting. It's rarely, like, people like dreadlocks and stuff like that, white people could never really appropriate that. That's still very much not a white thing. But dabbing was the most successful appropriation I've ever seen, because it's to the point where black people don't want it dabbing back because it's so white now. So it was a real win for us. We bloody need one at the moment, don't we? Yeah, because as soon as Hillary Clinton started dabbing, it was over. You can't be a hard rapper in Atlanta dabbing when Hillary Clinton's dabbing. It's just not going to happen. So congratulations to the whites. Today I talked yesterday about my mum being on the phone all the time, and literally just before I came on today, I heard mum, because mum speaks very loudly when she's on the phone, which is constantly, and I just heard her fucking bitching about me. Just the old girl was running her mouth again, and she's chatting shit, and she's basically saying this makes me blood boil. She's basically saying, like, God, he's not seeing anyone. Honestly, he's the most isolated person I know. Yeah, because it's fucking isolation, mum. Honestly, she started making me feel guilty for not leaving the house enough. It's like, what the fuck? This is like the only time when you shouldn't feel guilty about not doing anything. I was absolutely furious. Somehow I feel like a loser because I'm following government guide. Oh, actually, that does sound like a loser, to be fair. But no, it's not rock and roll to break quarantine. It's not punk rock. You know, even that what's funny about this whole, like, even the most, like, anti-establishment, like, fuck the police, we're all staying home because it's not cool to break quarantine. But yeah, absolutely infuriating. Yeah, he just stays in. He doesn't see any friends. Yeah! I'm only meant to see you. And even that's a fucking push, mum. And I can say what the fuck I want about her, because she doesn't support me creatively. She doesn't watch these podcasts. She's one of those mums who's an amazing mum who really is loving and caring, but she's more proud if my room's tidy than if I have a successful podcast or win a award in stand-up or anything like that, or, you know, make a short film that took me 3 years. You know, that, it's like, okay, fine. But if she comes to my flat and my room's tidy, she's almost in tears. Today we're going to be discussing, I think, just TikTok in general. It's Boys Gone Wild. It's a plural thing. First up, I want to give my kind of sort of views on TikTok, because I've been on TikTok for like a month, and yes, it is the end of Western civilization as we know it, for sure. It's a horrible place with awful things, but there's still a lot of good stuff out there. And people need to get their finger out their arse and get on it, to be honest. No, actually, I tell you that. If you're a creative, and you want to grow at all, you're an idiot if you're not on TikTok, and stop being so snooty. If you don't need followers or the validation of others to survive financially or achieve any of your dreams or passions, then use that as an opportunity to sit this one out, because it's a real bin fire. But if you do TikTok right, because the thing is, everyone's chatting shit about TikTok, but fundamentally it's a 60-second video app, or 15 seconds with a song. Like, there's endless possibilities. You can still do good stuff. There's lots of stand-ups on it doing great stuff. You can do it right. It's still just another way of sharing videos and stuff, fucking content. But whenever you there's a new app out, you should. I normally go to who are the big stars to try and work, because that's a way of finding out what the new app is finding out who are the stars being made from it. And it's a fascinating world out there, because it's like there's this thing called the Hype House, which is this mansion that, like, I don't know, like 20 of the top TikTok stars all get together, and all the ones who are most followed, and they basically just live in this huge mansion paid for by TikTok, and so they can make TikToks together. But part of the contract is they have to make a certain amount of TikToks a day, which feels a bit, ugh. But I heard some people talking about it, the Hype House. One of the people was saying, like, it's just an amazing space for creative people. It really encourages creativity. We collaborate, we share ideas, and it's like, listen, babe. The Hype House, stop speaking about the Hype House as if it's some sort of like Parisian garret in the late 1800s. It's not. You're not Monet and Manet discussing Impressionism, all right? Like, it's not like a writers' guild, It's a mansion in LA with teenagers dancing to the same song and doing the same dance. It's one of the least. It's actually a black hole of creativity. Do your fucking dance. Do the same song and the same dance as everyone else, and do it 4 times a day. But don't fucking talk about it as if it's some form of creativity, as if you're like collaborating artists. Like that is like if Van Gogh and Picasso lived in the same thing, and they're like, oh, interesting, what colours you use there. God, let's collaborate and stuff. Doing a fucking duet together. It's not that. And I think that's the TikTok thing. The thing is the amount of a lack of originality. How it's all about copying. Like, there's some really genuinely funny stuff on there. There's stuff that I'll remember for the rest of my life and is like iconic internet content.
You said that you could let it go, and I wanna catch you hung up with somebody that you used to know, but you didn't have to cut me off.
Like that guy. And I don't know if that guy has learning difficulties, or if he was intending to be funny. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to find out, so I haven't gone on his profile, so I can enjoy that clip ethically. Sometimes it's better not to know. Do you know what I mean? But in the Hype House, you've got the big stars. The biggest one is Charli D'Amelio, I think is her name. And she's a 17-year-old girl, and she's all right at dancing, and she's done all these dancing TikToks, and she's become the biggest star. Now, is she talented? No, of course not. Does she represent the collapse of culture as we know it? Yes, she does. Is it her fault? Not at all. So the amount of hate this poor girl, the girl is 17. I don't think you can do anything wrong at 17. And a lot of these stars, yes, they are part of an awful time in civilization and culture, but if you're like 17, 18, 19, don't hate them. It's not their fault. Blame the parents is what I'm saying. Because you read the comments, and yes, they're getting a lot of love and a lot of adoration, which is undeserved, but she can't help that idiots want to watch her dance. It's not her fault. And you read like Charli D'Amelio's comments, it's always people just chatting shit. It's like she's a 17-year-old girl. Because this is the thing, and a lot of people who are cocky about how our generation sucks. Basically, we're just as shitty as every other generation. It's just not every generation has been given the opportunity to show how much they're cunts. You know, like our parents growing up, they had like the first time they'll be getting any sort of recognition, if any, would be maybe they'd appear on TV in their late 20s. You know, but by that time you're a formed person. The problem with TikTok, and all of the social media like that, is that you show yourself way too young when you're still a massive prick. Because we're all pricks. We're all pricks when we're 17. So leave Charlie D'Amelio alone. Leave Britney alone. But what I love about Charlie D'Amelio is I love her. Is that she gets her whole family involved. She gets and like her dad, D'Amelio, like they're fucking Italian New Yorkers. Like I think they moved out of New York, whatever. But D'Amelio, they're fucking Italians. And it's funny seeing these tragic parents getting involved in the TikTok app. And I'm just thinking, like, Mark D'Amelio, like, think of what his father would think of him now. The D'Amelios, they've clearly come from a fucking View from the Bridge, Brooklyn, Italian kind of Ellis Island immigration family. Homophobic, slap the wife. The fucking pasta's too soft. I like it al dente. If you fucking give me any lip, you're gonna taste fucking Jesus, okay? And I'm just thinking, what the fuck did his father, who must have been one of those fucking Guido Italians, because they all the dads of all the TikTok stars, they look like extras from The Sopranos. What would this man think of his son doing TikToks? He's like a 45, 50-year-old man. I can imagine his father up in heaven. Mark D'Amelio, Charlie D'Amelio's father's father, is up in heaven just thinking, let me just check on my boy. You know, I'm enjoying sitting here. The pasta's always chewy. It's heaven. It's great. It's Catholic, Italian heaven. Let me check on my boy, my son, carrying on the D'Amelio name. What's he doing down there on Earth? Oh my fucking God. I raised a queer. I've raised a fucking queer. It's not just Charlie who's got that kind of a fucking Guido family. It's also Addison Rae, who's the big star as well, who's like attractive in that sort of relatable girls next door way. And the weird thing about her is, once again, she's talentless. Once again, she represents the end of history as we know it. But it's not her fault. It is not Addison Rae's fault, because it's once again the parents, and they get involved in the TikToks, and it's utterly embarrassing. I mean, honestly, Addison Rae's mum, she's like the mum from Mean Girls. And then the dad, once again, looks like a fucking... I think he's a bit Latino, but he literally looks like an extra from Sopranos. But yes, I think I after watching it, it's like, yes, it's awful. It's not only of their fault, their kids, but the parents are the ones who are the real scumbags. There's Lil Huddy, and Lil Huddy is the fucking he's one of the teenage boys, and I don't like these guys. You know, the guys who are like, yeah, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's been an influx of kind of the sexy guys, even though he's 17, who apparently what's attractive these days for the Zoomers is like a guy who wears baggy shirts, a backwards cap, moisturizes, and goes like, yeah, just like, constantly looking like you're falling asleep. But why I don't fuck with these guys is that they look like they're goofy and fun, but they clearly take themselves so seriously. That sort of, I've got plenty of time. For next, I'm going to do a different episode on other TikTok stars. I think I'm going to leave this as a part 1 on TikTok, because I have a lot of opinions on TikTok. And also, I've realised I've got a lot of episodes to fill. So the Boys Gone Wild episode this week is going to be about the Hype House, and I'll do a different episode on motivational speakers, because they're my favourite thing that's come out of TikTok. But until then, see you tomorrow.